Okay, rough cut the celery, carrots, and turnip. The 2 red onions are all rough cut up. Separate bowl for a reason. Be cutting up that garlic and then slowly adding the rest of these things after I brown that meat. But first, I have to make a spiced flour for it. Be back in a second. Okay, here we have the chucks. This is the before I cut all the fat, silver skin off that you don't want to eat. And this is the after. This is what I'll have cut it into smaller pieces just to make it easier to work with. I'll come back and show you the flour after I'm done with that. Okay, this is about 3 tablespoons of flour in a kind of a shallow plate. Garlic salt, paprika, pepper. Mix this all together. Roll those pieces of beef in it, and then we'll be cooking it in this big Dutch oven with olive oil. Always season your flour. Okay, you got seasoned flour together. Just take a piece of meat here. And you roll this all in the flour. Get that all coated. Everybody's getting here for dinner. Dog's making a racket. And just place that mixture of olive oil and butter. You'll brown those on all sides. And then put them on a plate aside when you're done. Browning that beef. Make sure you get it all sides all nice and brown. Okay, we got all that nice oil, fat, butter, browned flour, browned our beef. Now we're going to take our red onions, saute them in that. And after those get nice and softened, I'll show you what we're doing with that. Okay, we got the red onions sauteing and all that. Now I used the minced garlic in the jar, good size spoonful. Add it after this or you'll burn the garlic. If you put it in at the same time, you'll burn the garlic. So we're going to stir the garlic around a little bit, and then we got a little. Okay, garlic is in there. Smells fantastic. Now we're going to add tomato paste. Squeeze all that in there. Get that in there, and don't worry about it if it seems to scald or burn a little bit. That's actually fine, because what we're going to do is after we get this all mixed together with the tomatoes and the garlic, is we're going to deglaze this with a little bit of red wine. So we'll get back in a second after I stir this all together. A little bit more to add. I'll come right back. Okay, as you can see, the color changed with that tomato paste all stirred in, and all that little burnt stuff, brown bits on the bottom, we're going to deglaze that with this red wine here, just a little bit. Just a little splash. Now that alcohol is going to cook off. But that bubble, man, I wish you could smell this right now. That alone is delicious, and actually the base for a good onion soup. But we're doing this beef over here, so I'll get back to that in a second. Okay, that's been bubbling away for a little bit, cooking all that stuff off the bottom, all getting mixed together nice, and again, it smells fantastic. Now we are going to take our vegetables here. We got the turnip and carrot and celery and the celery tops. We're going to add those in. Oh, by the way, it's a good idea just to have everything in bowls all set. I mean, I even have a garbage bowl that everything gets thrown in. So we're going to stir this together, just all nicely coated. And after I do that, got a couple other things to do, and then we'll have meat to it and get back to you. Okay, you can see all that is nice and coated. Everything's sizzling away nicely. Now we're going to add a few sprigs of thyme to that. We're going to add some Worcestershire. You can see it. You know what it is. You can add some of that in there. Not too much. Not too much. You don't want it. Tamarind powder can get over tasting. And now, just for a little more depth of flavor, we're going to add some balsamic vinegar. Drop that in there. Just a little sprinkle of that. You can hear that kind of sizzling in the bottom. And it doesn't look like I'm putting in a lot, but you don't need it to get the depth of flavors. I mean, just look at that. That's beautiful. And that smell, man. Fantastic. All right, I'm gonna let that go for a minute, and we'll be right back. All right, once again, we're back. Again, this has been going for about 3 or 4 minutes. And now, we're gonna add the meat back in, one at a time here. Oh man, this smells so damn good. Don't worry about crowding it. Just get it all to fit, because we're going to be pouring in those. Also, don't let this go to waste. Dump all of that right back in there. Okay. That's done. Now we take our beef broth here. Oh, that in there. Wash that down the sides. Yummy, yummies. Okay. I'm going to be putting 2 of these on because we want to make sure everything gets coated. The second one here. Alright. Now I got the oven preheating, but this can sit on the stove. You want to get this kind of up to a boil on the stove first, and then once it's up to a boil on the stove, you put the lid on, stick it in the oven at 350, which, like I said, it's preheating. Stick it in the oven at 350 for 2 hours, and we'll show you what it looks like in a bit. Also, at this point, you want to add your bay leaves. Don't forget bay leaves. And I got a small sprig of rosemary I'm going to be adding. So, and we'll let that boil off, and see you in a bit. All right, this is the halfway point. Halfway through, we took it out. Wanted to turn it through. We got the turnips there. Make sure everything's cooking right. Beef will cook down. It'll shrink in size, but that's okay. Just want to make sure everything's stirred up, and I'll put this back in the oven. This still has another hour to go. Okay, here for our side, we're making red. I know those look like tomatoes. They're not. They're potatoes. Red potatoes, rosemary, garlic, salt and pepper, tossed in with a little olive oil, and roasted in the oven at the same 350 the pot roasted is in it. These don't have to go in quite yet, but they'll be part of they'll be all sliced up and put on a pan, sheet pan to be roasted in the oven. Roasted potatoes, roast beef, all done.